Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's going to be a WickedBot taking on BenBotBC. So we've got what should be an epic Terran versus Terran. But funnily enough, there's no humans involved in this, as this is a bot versus bot match. And that's where that kind of tells you all you need to know, that things might be a little bit different than a normal StarCraft 2 game. But we do have a bit of a familiar cheese coming out of BenBot in this game, as it's going for a bunker rush. Proxy racks build is something that BenBot does very well, and this should be a good test for WickedBot, because that really is a good sign to track how a newer and up-and-coming bot like WickedBot does, is how they handle various cheeses, odd situations, that kind of thing. So we'll see how WickedBot's going to do against this. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this video, though, make sure to go ahead and click that like button if you haven't already. If we can hit 100 likes on this video, that would be amazing. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these bot matches. Or better yet, let me know if you have any ergonomic tips if you're someone who, say, is an office worker or spends a lot of time gaming, like I'm sure many of us do, as I think that's something that's very important. And so anytime I'm feeling like a little stiff or whatever, I think like, all right, so something's got to be wrong here with the ergonomics, you know? We have a massive SCV pull from WickedBot. WickedBot is definitely not overreacting to this, or definitely not underreacting to this, as the SCVs say, kill the bunker, kill the bunker. They're getting close. The bunker finishes up, and it gets shut down at the last moment. Meanwhile, the Reaper of WickedBot does come on out, begin shooting at one of the Marines. BenBot's second bunker is canceled. The SCVs pause running away to repair each other. And yeah, what a commitment to shut that down by WickedBot. And it works, funnily enough. That is so bizarre, but it's one of those very interesting things. It's like, if I just react to this to an extreme margin, can I reliably shut this down 100% of the time? That kind of thing. The Reaper grenades itself, and oh, that's a bit of a lost opportunity there for WickedBot, as it maybe could have killed that SCV, delayed the bunker, then delayed the command center of BenBot, so it misses out on that opportunity, unfortunately. It might find another SCV here, though, and it does actually pad after it. Grenade gets put on down, but then it actually abandons chasing the SCV, so yeah, lost opportunity there. Not keeping track of it as it lost the vision of it. The Reaper actually passes the bunker, very notably, which is important to see, as some bots would actually fear that bunker. So the Reaper of WickedBot is on it, trying to get some damage done. The Reaper does eat a tank shot, though, and then doesn't run away from the tank, maybe not seeing the threat. And so it does go down after getting some good counter-harassment damage done. I don't even think I got to finish my intro in this game, because it got started so quickly. Subscribe if you guys haven't already, if you enjoy these goofy bot matches. And yeah, consider becoming a YouTube member if you want to support this content. Your support is appreciated, and there's other links to do that down below. So on with the match. If we take a look at the income here, it is a significant lead for WickedBot due to the fact that its natural command center was done a little bit quicker than BenBot. BenBot is getting up its natural base, so it will have the 2 mules being dropped, which is very important. But still, a nice little lead here for WickedBot early in the game. If we take a look, its Reaper only killed 2 SCVs, but getting more damage than BenBot got done, and then, yeah, just defending the cheese is pretty compounding. So now WickedBot can play this game out. It's going to have a lot of opportunity to maybe get something done in the mid game, as it does have Medivacs on the way. No stim packs started for the Red Terran just yet, so something actually seems a little awry here. If I'm not mistaken, in most games like this, WickedBot would have already started stim pack, but the tech lab never happened. I'm wondering if that's a response to the cheese or building placement, something like that. So that makes me a little bit concerned here. I'm wondering if we will get that tech lab soon. Show me a tech lab. No, another marine. So no stim in this match. That's a little concerning because WickedBot has already got the tools it needs to go for drops. It's got 16 marines, 2 medivacs. All you need is stim to make that one of the most lethal timing attacks in the game. But BenBot shall be given a little bit of a break. Now, that being said, Medivac drops can be still very powerful even without stim, particularly against a bot like BenBot, which relies more so on just like defending the front of the base, not so much like trying to patrol the main or anything like that. So WickedBot just chilling for now. No tech lab yet. This is unfortunate. I'm wondering if this Rax will get a tech lab. Okay, there we go. We all of a sudden get a tech lab and a reactor starting up. So that, yeah, that's a little bizarre. Definitely a bug here in WickedBot, and this makes me wonder if it's waiting to go for an attack to get out Stim Pack. That would make sense if that was a requirement on the bot, but yeah, a little bit of lost opportunity because it could have been dropping. It might have been able to kill BenBot had it moved out. Like, BenBot has had very little at this point in the game. It's just macroing hard, getting up lots of production, and then we have got the beast. Well, not getting up lots of production, getting up expensive production, being a battle cruiser with weapon refit. That's right, weapon refit, the powerful Yamato cannon, which might be able to pick off some medivacs, that kind of thing. WickedBot's army is going to be no joke, but I hate to beat a dead horse and just be like, what happened there? But it's one of those things. If you find bots interesting, you're probably someone that likes to look at little things and sort of understand why exactly did this happen. So we might actually rewind the game at the end just to see, like, was there something that happened with that Rax or what? Now we have a scouting Hellion for BenBot saying early marine. It's not just early marine, it's many marines as the third base lands for WickedBot. BenBot's already getting up its third. This is where the economies diverge a little bit, though. BenBot goes for the planetary, the much safer option. However, much more expensive, costs gas, costs minerals, but it doesn't give mules like the orbital of WickedBot. So WickedBot's economy will be a little better than BenBot, and BenBot will have to make up for that by taking better trades than its opponent, which when it comes to having like tanks and planetaries against marines, the opportunity for that is real. We actually get a tag from BenBot saying jump enemy base, and there goes the BC. I don't know why it waited so long to do that. WickedBot's APM all of a sudden shoots up to 50,000 as it decides, you know what, I'm going to move out and attack, and then decides, you know what, never mind, as there's a Hellion harassing at the third base that gets stimmed and shut down. Again, something that I think could maybe be a little improvement for WickedBot would be to have sort of stim relating to the amount of supply it's attacking into or something like that, or at least a minimum threshold. It doesn't have to be dynamic, just have a minimum threshold. That kind of thing. As the BC does get pushed away, it got how many kills? 15 kills in all. Some SCVs, some Marines, but WickedBot then goes for the front of a BenBot trying to crash the gates. There's no combat shield on these Marines though, so they go down quite easily. Between the planetary, the tanks, WickedBot breaks itself on BenBot. SCVs transferring, maybe to do some repair or something, classic BenBot, but enough is present to hold on. As WickedBot, tries to attack the front instead of going for one of its signature drops. It gets a few SCVs transferring, but not great there for WickedBot. The battle cruiser coming back in for BenBot, trying to get some damage, and it will get some damage as SCVs are not responding. The Red Terran has gone into Viking production, but the BC can just nope on out of there, and it does. So BenBot kind of comes back in the game in a big way. It got some good economic damage done. It just destroyed the army of WickedBot, and there's really not much going for WickedBot that makes me think it's going to be able to kill BenBot in the immediate future, as it is building a very high Viking count. I'm a fan of that, and there we go. Now drops are happening much later than I'd like. Just almost 10 minutes into the game for the first drop. A Hellion actually finds the drop. Now, BenBot probably doesn't think too much of this. It's just like, hey, there's units over there. but we'll see if WickedBot can actually make something happen. There is exposed tanks here. This would be a prime opportunity for the Red Terran to jump on top, but it's actually going to boost the Medivacs forward, unload the bio, so a little bit of lost opportunity there for WickedBot, not having what would be ridiculously over-the-top programming to actually realize those tanks were exposed and drop on top of them. I don't even know how you'd go about programming that. It would be a very specific matchup thing, and I think the thing you'd have to do would just be literally to check and be like, hey, yeah, there is indeed just tanks there. Drop on them. But then again, tanks can always unsiege, and bots can do that instantly, so it might not be as effective as doing that against a human. Anyway, BenBot is floating its command center over. Decided not to expand here once it saw WickedBot having its army there, so it's just expanding towards the east. Currently, WickedBot is still just on 3 bases itself. It's got its 4th base going up now. We are getting a lot of oversaturation in the main base, so that 4th does need to float on over. Notably, WickedBot floats that base on over prior to actually turning it into an orbital, which is interesting, but I'm a big fan of that because it would be lost mining time if it was waiting for that. We are getting Medivacs moving towards the main base of BenBot. This may be the first successful drop in the game. There's a lot of SCVs chilling in the main as BenBot is oversaturated. For some reason, though, BenBot said that expansion is not safe. I'm guessing because WickedBot had its army there, that BenBot abandoned that location. It really shouldn't have. This drop is getting shut down hard, though. Vikings and battlecruisers can butcher the Marines that are unloaded. The Medivacs are trying to get on out of there. One of them goes down. We do have BenBot, or pardon me, WickedBot landing its 4th. It turns that into a planetary with the bunker, which is a little funny, the bunker to protect the planetary, but now we see BenBot getting ready to move on out. It's got a very nice tank count. 6 tanks in all is no joke if they are used correctly in the hands of a bot. WickedBot, I think, is going to really struggle to clean up that army. It's got an upgrade lead for now. However, 2-2 is about to finish up for BenBot's battle cruisers, so those will be formidable. WickedBot will have an advantage because the tanks won't have an attack upgrade. The bio of BenBot doesn't have any attack upgrades, and here is where WickedBot may gain an advantage. It's got 16 Vikings to take care of the battle cruisers, take care of the Vikings of BenBot, which will then leave the tanks and bio a little bit exposed. We actually get a bit of an attack from the south while the rest of the units do push up the ramp. BenBot loses vision temporarily, though, and that saves a lot of the bio units of WickedBot, which are able to stim on top of the tanks. There's a random mule getting dropped for some reason on that mineral patch, but all in all, WickedBot is able to shut that down. Its Viking count was just way too much for BenBot to handle, as I didn't even realize how many Vikings there was. Mass Vikings against BenBot is a pretty good idea most of the time. I think we get a Yamato cannon going to kill one of them. It then teleports on out of there, so not a bad trade for BenBot so far. 3 more BCs come forward. Can they get out, or will they go down? It looks like they will actually just go down, as BenBot is getting good trades against WickedBot without losing too many units. Has a single battle cruiser died this game so far? No. So every time they get a Yamato cannon, that is just money in the bank for BenBot, or I guess money out of the bank for WickedBot. These Vikings are still doing their thing, as WickedBot is just getting volleys off on the battle cruisers. But if they get a Yamato cannon off before that, it is worth it for BenBot. BenBot is feeling the pressure here. There's some Marauders dancing around on the ground as WickedBot controls the ground. Widowmine, though, will hit a Viking. That's really nice, as the Red Terran flies too far forward. A few Marines on the ground are doing work against the Vikings of WickedBot. It's got to be careful not to lose that air control. Lots of bio is stimming in here for WickedBot. Marines can help out against the battle cruisers. There's the first BC dying in this game. There's a Raven fully loaded with energy for BenBot. That could definitely do something. But again, breaking the planetary is just not something that bots are good at, as WickedBot has no choice but to retreat behind this, though it is getting a very good economy up, as it does have a 5th base. We are getting more bases building. BenBot, though, is doing just fine economically too, as it's on 5 bases going up to 6 bases. So even economies for these bots. The trades are very important, and BenBot is presently leading that. So we'll see if things potentially flip, if BenBot becomes the aggressor, because Defender's advantage in bots seems to be consistently a big factor in the games. Now, Marines are stimming forward for WickedBot. That is going to be another battlecruiser dead. It wasn't off teleport cooldown. BenBot's Vikings have to rout as WickedBot just has more and is grouping them up a little better, it seems. I mean, WickedBot's still losing lots of Vikings, presently 22 dead versus 14, plus 2 BCs. That's, yeah, questionable trades for WickedBot for sure. And we'll just see how these trades go as the game progresses, as both these bots get more and more upgrades up. WickedBot's got 3-3 on the bio, so that is capped out. We're getting 3-1 on the way for the Vikings as well. BenBot, though, it's already got 2-2, heading to 2-3 for those Vikings and battle cruisers. But again, WickedBot is a Terran biobot that adds in specific counters. It isn't going for any siege tanks, which is something that really would help break planetaries and prolong the siege to get more value. Instead, it's just running forward, trading out units, and then eventually having to retreat. So we'll see how that continues on. I think a big factor will be which bots are able to snap up the remaining bases. This is something that WickedBot is pretty good at, but we see BenBot's just as quick as it's going to expand to yet another location. There's only 2 free bases left on the map right now, and I guess that means one of them belongs to each bot at this point. I can do some counting in the video if we want. I think I see 8 for WickedBot. I think I see 7 for BenBot. Oh, pardon me. No, I'm missing a base. I forgot that base. Okay, so BenBot needs to take 2 more. WickedBot needs to take 1 more. We'll try and keep tabs on that. The skirmish is still continuing between these 2 bots. Men with gun on the ground shooting at the BCs. They put out quite a bit of damage, particularly since those battle cruisers do not have their +3 armor yet. When they get that, the Marines seem to just tickle them. The Vikings, though, for WickedBot are doing quite all right with their +3 attack. The Red Terran, though, still unable to break this, and I'm not sure it will ever be able to break planetaries the way that it's attacking, with just sort of a string line of bio and not really grouping it up. We're getting 20 Marines built at a time for WickedBot. WickedBot's got a ridiculous amount of command centers, but it's not actually floating anywhere, which is weird. This guy's just chilling in the sky, man. WickedBot's weird command center behavior continues on, so we'll keep eyes on that. In TVTs, you generally do want a lot of bases for scans, mules, that kind of thing. However, you still actually need to use those bases to take bases. This base is going to float over somewhere. Oh, never mind. It's another base being built. And so, yes, WickedBot's... Oh, it's not landing this one either. Did it block this location, or is it just not figuring it out? I really don't know. Anyway, WickedBot now on the defense a little bit. Both these bots are at identical supplies as the Vikings go to town on the Vikings. There's so many Marines on the ground for WickedBot. If they can get under these air units, they can get a lot of value, and they're doing exactly that as 2 BCs go down. This is a big bio ball. 49 Marines as the bio stims forward. There's a tank in the back for BenBot, but that will go down as WickedBot gets some good trades, but that's going to fall off as it tries to break these planetaries again. Something that I think would be very important here for WickedBot would be to actually get the SCVs on the bases that are mining, at least, and it does seem to be targeting those down, which is important. BenBot might be struggling to maintain the trade rate that WickedBot is forcing it to take, as we do see the Blue Terran dipping down in supply a little bit, whereas WickedBot's bank, its production is still very good. We've got... how many orbitals for each bot? It's 3-2, so WickedBot isn't making extra orbitals. It's making extra bases. Oh no, it's going to keep building them, isn't it? Like in the previous video. It's comical, so start the counter, guys, on that one. As we do have BenBot's Raven still flying around, not really doing anything. Yamato Cannon going to hit a Viking, but the BC may die. No, it actually escapes on out of there. The Blue Terran's defense strategy is just working pretty darn well, though. Planetaries are good, guys. Really, WickedBot needs something like Liberators, like tanks, to break this location. Its bio is getting caught up on the planetary. It's not targeting down the tank when it very well could have in this situation. The bio is killing some of the SCVs, but not enough of them, as they are just shooting the planetary a fair bit and not going for the tank that's 2 inches to the left. Again, that would be something that's very difficult to program, because it's like, at what point, like, how do you even have a threshold or something like that to be like, hey, yeah, dive that planetary, dive the tank, and to not have it have negative repercussions in other matches? It's just not something that would be easy to do. And Then we've got WickedBot still just building more command centers. I really hope it doesn't screw itself like at other games. It still has yet to land these other bases, so there's 3 bases still up for grabs on the map. That means WickedBot is ahead. Actually, no, it's not ahead because it hasn't landed this, so we're on even bases right now. So the overall trades in this game are actually incredibly important. I think Benbot may end up with a base lead, as, I mean, it is actually taking this other base down here, and WickedBot is just not doing that. I really hope it doesn't have excess SCVs anywhere as a result of this. Okay, we do get a base floating over towards the north. I don't know why that's happening now. WickedBot's got 8 going up to 10 extra command centers just chilling though. Benbot loses a gas. That's actually a big deal. Benbot needs all that gas. Bio is stimming forward, trading out against the planetary. There's enough SCVs repairing, though. Benbot teleports in the battle cruisers. Very cool to try and save this base, but all that did was get the BC killed. The planetary can handle itself. It's got its tank bro that has 56 kills, and these aren't Zergling kills. They are Marine kills. And that's just incredibly good value for a siege tank. WickedBot not able to land this base. Okay, I'm wondering if that's why this other base didn't land, was because maybe there was a Hellion there. WickedBot has got to respond to that. It does end up landing this base. It will make it a planetary. Benbot unable to expand to this center location. WickedBot not expanding to its own center location, but again, each bot is still just down 1 base at this point in the game. This game can very well continue on now that they've both extended their economy. Benbot is still getting more and more upgrades going. Attack upgrades on its monster tank. WickedBot is losing a lot of Vikings, committing on top of Widow Mines, the turrets there to help shoot these out of the sky. The Ravens really are freeloaders for Benbot in this game. That's a little bit unfortunate. The tank stays alive, though, as WickedBot has been unable to break this location. That one tank, it's just in perfect position. Like, there's bio to the north, bio to the east, but the bio is just like, I can't get that tank. It's too far. It's too far back. The Vikings not landing either to help out. They're just trading out, although another turret finishes up. That's going to increase the fatality rate. WickedBot is getting close to breaking this planetary. There's only 2 SCVs repairing it. If these SCVs go down, maybe the base will go down, but otherwise it's just going to be an absolute bloodbath for the Red Terran, and that continues on. Guys, programming is hard as WickedBot throws more Marines against this planetary. Not going for the SCVs is unfortunate, I think, because it can see them on this base. Like, yeah, the Viking, well, I guess they can't technically be seen right now, but they've repaired the PF to full once again. Benbot is attempting to expand to this base, to the I guess, the northern 6 o'clock position, whatever you want to call it. But because of the horrible trades that WickedBot just took, trying to break that planetary, that does mean Benbot is now the bot pushing out. Resources lost is in favor of the Blue Terran, so base count definitely does matter if WickedBot wants a chance to win this game. There's so many Marines once again, though, because WickedBot has sat back. There is a planetary morphing there, but there's a lot of firepower here for the Red Terran. The bio is splitting up, though, attacking not just 1, but 2 planetaries. The Marines do stim on top of the tank. I'm guessing that's because the planetary wasn't finished, but then the planetary finishes, and WickedBot throws its hands up and says, nope, I can't. I gotta fight that planetary fortress. So I guess a way you could go about programming that would be to say, hey, if there's a tank nearby, do not shoot the planetary, because the tank would almost always be the better target in that case. I mean, like, I think that would be reasonable, at least in that situation, because there's very rarely going to be situations in which attacking the PF, and I say just the planetary fortress, would be better than attacking the tank, right? Like, if there's, say, Marines or other units in front of a planetary and a tank, you probably don't just want to dive for the tank. But if there's, say, just a tank and a planetary, go for the tank. I think that would be the reasonable way to try and program for that. Bio is stimming, getting valuable Ravens, but WickedBot still has a long way to go in this game if it wants to come back economically. The Red Terran bot still hasn't landed here. I'm wondering if it's because, is it blocking its own base? Is this turret blocking this expansion? I'm not sure. Bio is stimming in once again for WickedBot, but Benbot has its incredibly valuable siege tanks here. Once again, is this guy at 100 kills? 103 kills on a siege tank is a little bit disgusting here, and I think WickedBot at this point may just bleed itself dry. It's mining more than BenBot, and that means it's going to run out of money and available bases quicker than BenBot. It might not be immediately, but it will happen at some point because BenBot has got these really, really nice tanks just at its bases. That's really the fundamentals of BenBot's design. It's not like a super fancy microbot. It's just got very solid strategy that works and really punishes other bots a lot of the time. Like, try breaking a planetary with a tank. You're always going to have losses. We're even getting Thors now added into the mix for BenBot. So BenBot winning on style points because Thors are cool as hell. But we'll see if these Marines can get it. But the Thor's actually being repaired, which is impressive. WickedBot's Vikings, they do a good job countering BenBot's Vikings. It's 86 dead to 88. WickedBot's just unfortunately losing too much supply. 562 dead Marines. Oh, pardon me, I did not mean to press pause. That's got to be the most dead Marines I've seen in a game. Maybe BenBot's going to do WickedBot a favor if it can break this bunker. I do like how WickedBot is using the bunker during this fight. Vikings fighting nonstop. The Thor is getting repaired, but it does go down. A tank moves forward for BenBot, and that's actually the tank that was defending this planetary. That could be a big mistake for BenBot, as the blue Terran wanted to get aggressive, and this is what I mean, that bots that are on the defense generally do a lot better. We got a clutch Marine on top of a tank. It gets deleted by yet another tank, though. And yes, this is exactly what WickedBot wants. It wants BenBot to get aggressive, to move away from the safety of its planetaries. Or, well, at least that's what you want BenBot to do if you want WickedBot to win. As the Red Terran's just in a world of trouble. We're really seeing the economy start to drop for WickedBot. It's oversaturated on some bases. It's got idle SCVs, no long-distance mining, as it was never able to take this location. I do not know why that was. I think the Red Terran bot is running out of steam, though. That 20 Marine flood is now a 6 Marine at a time trickle due to its much lower economy. If BenBot very well could free up this base, though, for WickedBot, if it does actually kill that turret, because I think it might be that turret blocking that location. It is interesting that WickedBot's not even trying to land the base there. SCV's trying to repair the turret. The turret will go down. WickedBot not going to try and expand there, though, which is a little bit... Okay, now we're getting a base. Oh, my gosh. No wonder WickedBot is out of money. Yeah, this is a problem. This is not good. WickedBot's got 13 command centers just floating around, guys. That is... oh, gosh. Do some math. Double it. Double it again. Or no. Double it. So 26 times 4. That's like 100 Marines or so worth of command centers. Oh, my gosh. That is not good. As WickedBot just threw away so much money to this. Its Vikings are getting really good trades against the Vikings of BenBot, but unless it chooses to land one of these bases here, I think we're gonna have a BenBot victory, as WickedBot it's out of resources at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've got our victor here. I think the odds of WickedBot winning this game are just incredibly low at this point, as BenBot just able to weather the storm and get the good trades. That's what makes BenBot such a fun bot to watch. It really gives its opponent opportunities to try and break it. But BenBot is just a rock. And yeah, now the Thor bullying these Vikings thanks to its long range. SCVs being massacred. I did notice this in a previous WickedBot game. The command center thing. There definitely needs to be some work done here. It's very unfortunate to see this because, who knows, 100 Marines is a lot, guys. It might have been enough for WickedBot to finally smarten up. It might have even won the game, though, if it had taken this base. So there's two obvious things that probably need to be addressed by WickedBot, its author. But all in all, very impressive for a bot that's come a long way since it was created. BenBot, solid as always, getting slight improvements as always. WickedBot, oh, is it trying to land all the bases now? Why? Why now? I don't understand. Oh my gosh, WickedBot is just in it for the meme. Look at this. It's sending all the command centers here except one. There's always that one guy who's like, you know what? I'm marching to the beat of my own drum. And yeah, why is this? Okay, the rest of them are scattering. They're like, all right, I guess we'll go check other bases. Well, at least the games end on a funny note. We'll definitely pay more attention to WickedBot games to see if this happens again in the future. But yeah, very good game between these two. It'll be interesting to see a rematch if this command center stuff does get fixed at some point, which who knows, maybe it already has been. If you guys haven't already, click that like button. If we can get a like for every dead Marine, that would be something. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these bot matches. Subscribe. Consider becoming a YouTube member if you enjoy these 30-minute long bot casts and want to support the channel. And then join the Discord, because there may be announcements for live streams, that kind of thing in the future. Well, there's always the odd live stream, so keep an eye out for those. But yeah, well done by BenBot. Very good, well, pretty good trades. But we can really see why you might never want to attack as a bot. And if there wasn't a game time limit on AIarena.net, turtle bots would probably be the meta. It would be like a strict meta, but at some point you do have to attack, because the games can only go an hour on AIarena.net, otherwise they're cut off. Just because, of course, that would take a lot of server time and resources, and that's actually something that is a factor. Like, these games are being run 24/7 on the ladder as the bots play each other on AIarena.net. If you do want to support the home of the bots, consider checking that out. There is a patron for them. And they are public. They are publicly funded. All their finances are public. That kind of thing. So, yeah, if you're not gonna support this channel, but you do wish to support the bot community, that is arguably even a better place to do it. Because, yeah, I mean, there wouldn't be this channel if it wasn't for AIarena.net. And there's also all sorts of guides on there if you guys do wish to learn how to program your own bot. If I can figure it out, you guys can too. I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.